testing, we intend to go into an INAD application, where we're going to be using a contract research organization. And we expect about 6 to 8 months to complete this phase of our research. And we're expecting costs to be wrapping in right at about $1 million to do so. Our phase 1 clinical trials and tests, we're also going to use a contract research organization to do these. We're looking for about 1.5 to 2 years on completion, with about $2 to $5 million, just depending on how things go for us. Oxidiofungin really fulfills the need in the antifungal market today. And our present portfolio of treatments really interacted favorably with a wide variety of other medications. There's a low spectrum of activity. They're very expensive to use. All these other drugs are fungostatic as opposed to the fungicidal properties of oxidiofungin here. And all of these are very toxic. Okay? We're well positioned at this time to really overtake this market. And there's going to be some big figures come out here. Oh man, my computer didn't do this. Okay. And that was the end of our show. So we really are looking for venture capital investors at this time in order to help us enter into the pre-investigational new drug trials to bring this new drug to market. I really truly believe that we're going to be able to stomp all of our antimicrobial competition out there where the antifungal drugs are concerned. This is a whole new class of compound, and it's just unprecedented. If we can find, in this same concept here, if we can find other new drugs that operate against bacteria in this manner, we're going to have one antimicrobial for bacteria in the future. We're going to have one drug for all cancers in the future. Just like now, we're going to have one drug for all fungal diseases in the future. Thank you for your time.
Okay, questions? Yeah, time for one question, and then we'll need to move. Go ahead.
Yes, what are the prospects of mass production?
Right now, we're only producing small amounts for research purposes, okay? We have been fiddling, it's a very big molecular structure there. And through Dr. Xian Lu's efforts, Dr. Jim Smith's efforts here, we have removed that glycol group by creating a deletion mutant in the bacterium that makes us antifungal. In doing so, we can remove the glycol moiety and increase the activity fourfold. But it also redistributes the molecule in the bacterium that produces it. Currently, we're producing absolutely purified oxidiofungin through high-pressure liquid chromatography means. And we hope to be able to gear this up. Our research team is well known in producing and purified components and the mechanisms and procedures to do so. So we're just right around the corner from that right now on a scale up for industrial production.
Join me in thanking you. All right. Mr. Ben Weed and Inometrics.
So I'm Ben Weed, my company is Inometrics, and today I'm going to tell you about, I think a lot of you have heard the elevator pitch in this spiel, so I'll try and keep it moving, but basically I'm going to tell you about a huge, one of the leading concerns in women's health and what we're doing to change that. So Inometrics is innovative precision healthcare. Our goal is to deliver engineering to high areas of need in the medical community, specifically in women's health. Our launch platform is an advanced diagnostic tool for female pelvic floor biomechanics. We have a couple different products. One major product platform area with a lot of different options, and there's some small sort of widget kind of things that help meet specific needs and deficiencies in this area. Got about $200,000 in R&D to date. I'm Ben Weed, I'm the CEO. I'm wrapping up my PhD here in biomedical engineering. Ali Borjani, our Chief Technical Officer, is doing his PhD right now at Cleveland Clinic, working with one of the top research groups in this area. And our research director is June Lau. He's an assistant professor here. Young guy with a lot of energy, a great track record, a lot of experience in bioengineering. We have a great advisory team helping us with a lot of different issues that go into starting a medical device firm. So this is Jennifer. She's 34. She just had her third child. She's got a whole lot to be excited about. Unfortunately, she's suffering from a growing list of debilitating complications. And this is because she has stage 3 pelvic organ prolapse. It's the most common pelvic floor disorder. She's going to require multiple surgeries as well as reoperations because the surgeries that deal with this are not as mature as they are in other spaces, and she's going to be managing this disorder for the rest of her life. Pelvic organ prolapse has been called a silent epidemic. It affects millions of women. About 50% of all women who've given birth within their lifetime will be affected by this. There's many surgeries per year. It's the second leading cause of surgery in women, behind hysterectomy and ahead of cesarean section. Billions of dollars each year to manage, and a lot of this is basically just throwing money at symptoms. There's not a whole lot of curing and treating in this as much as there is institutionalization and diaper pads and things like that. It's a very age-related disorder. There's a lot of multifactorial things that build to when you're in your 60s. I think 65, there's an 11% chance that you'll need surgery for this across the board. So with our aging population, this is shaped to go by about 45% by 2030. And basically, pelvic floor disorders happen when the soft tissue structures in the pelvis break down. This leads to a shift in the organs. It's highly correlated with childbirth. It's the main, the whole lot of different things that go into this. Childbirth is the main sort of central cause for this, and it causes urinary and fecal incontinence, sexual discomfort, a lot of other very awkward and difficult things to talk about, which is probably why you've never heard about this disorder, or why you haven't heard much about it. The treatments are invasive and prone to complications. It's mostly surgery, it's very reactive, there's a high reoperation rate. So the most common technique for diagnosing this disorder is called the POPQ. It's simply a pelvic exam. You fill out this little rubric on the side, and they tell you if you're stage 1, 2, 3, or 4. And most clinicians really don't take the POPQ seriously. They, for the most part, do a very qualitative exam based on their expertise and then a surgery. There are devices and techniques for addressing this, like urodynamics and vaginal manometry. They tend to deal with a specific system. Nothing is addressing the underlying structural concerns that our technology and approach does. The American Urogynecologic Society has identified all of these different areas of needs in this research. Basically, what this comes down to is we need engineering in gynecology, and that's what we've decided we're going to do. And our approach achieves all of these. We have a pelvic floor focused product line. The launch platform, and what most of Mississippi State's efforts have been in, is the GynMech and the PelviSense. Can't tell you all the details about it because for patent strategy and IP protection reasons, we can't do full disclosure. We do have provisional patents filed, which are fully convertible. We're working against we're working against a 30-month timeline with the CPT, an international patent, and that's why we have to keep everything very under wraps. But basically, this addresses the structural health right now, gives you a snapshot of the pelvic floor so that a doctor can make a much more informed, much more unbiased and objective diagnosis, as opposed to just an exam by somebody who, while an incredible expert in the field, there's only 400 of these people doing hand exams. That kind of opinion can't go into 50% of all women who've given birth in their lifetime. There are existing CPT codes to leverage reimbursement for these, as well as great potential for better CPT codes than what's available. There's a biofeedback code that's very heavily used in this field, and our device would be suitable for leveraging this. We also have some surgical instruments that address sort of some key tweaks in the current surgical techniques, try and help some of those reoperation rates, as well as some patient therapy aids involving Kegel training. Kegels are the squeeze exercise that everybody's told to do when they start to get older, when they go through pregnancy. something like 75% of women don't do them correctly because you're trying to squeeze one muscle out of basically every muscle from here down to your knees. And it's very difficult without a small amount of training to get that right. And it also helps give this evaluation of progress. There's a lot of therapy options going through with this, but there's not a lot of ways to say how well are you doing in your therapy. So in summary, pelvic floor disorders are a growing issue that will affect a woman in your life and probably already do, even if you don't know. Technology has multiple applications, multiple avenues for monetization in this space. We have an existing CPT code that we can leverage to reimburse early. Technology is ready to go to the finalized market stage and to the FDA approval stage. And we're leveraging seed funding as soon as possible. I'd love to talk to some people about the details of moving through our initial product finalization stage. So, thank you.
Question, anyone? Got time for a question? He actually gave me a couple minutes back, so he's got a question. You might?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now I'd like to welcome Mr. Lazarus Harris up to the podium, and he's going to talk about the Lehrer Company.
Yeah, my name's Lazarus Harris. I'm an inventor by trade, but I founded the Lehrer Company off of Academy Design. That says it's the name of my company and address. Actually, Lehrer Company, we design and manufacture all fluid filters for engine-related gas or diesel engines. And the thing about our filters is they're more easily removed and replaced, and in fact, with specific torque. Okay, as you see this picture right here, there's an oil filter stuck in there. And you can imagine it's hard to see in there, so imagine how hard it is to remove it. And the technician who has to remove that filter, can get burned, or just all the difficulties that come with removing that filter can affect, being busted knuckles and any of that kind of thing. And the way our filters are, we're going to be able to just use one wrench, which is this right here. Because, all mechanics know these is just a regular ratchet, so we just remove and replace this filter by the speeds right here. And because of that, we're able to just displace those wrenches there. We don't need them anymore. And mechanics like that, they have to spend less money on tools. And that's another example of a filter inside of the engine. And another thing is oil. So a lot of times we get down there by that filter housing, and then we would take it loose. The filter wrench is stuck in everything. Just an example of all filters that we're actually going to replace. And you see those filters, they have like the rounded bottom. And those filters are actually fluid and oil filters. And on the engine, you're supposed to prime and filter with either oil or fuel. And the technician who has to replace those filters doesn't know where to put them down on a certain spot and fill them up. But ours, you just set them upright like that, and you pour your fluid and hang it on the engine. Everything's taken care of that way. That's the problem we're solving there. And that's the emblem of my company name was Gladiator. That's the emblem we project. Again, that's my solution. My ratchet that goes in the end of the oil filter. It's all one assembly. To each filter you get has this attachment on it. And as a matter of fact, if you want to torque it to a specific torque, which is we like to work with 12 foot-pounds. By the use of that torque wrench there, each filter can be specifically torqued, and that for the military apparatus, they like that. How the military is, they like everything, precise and everything. So that's a way of standardizing that. And we've already gone to Camp Shelby in Hattiesburg, and they expressed, deep interest in it, and we're going to visit that too. And again, that's an illustration about filters, standing upright for easy installation. And that's just a picture of our filter at the end of it. But again, that's the solution again, the torque wrench, the easily remove and replace. Okay, and then again, it's pretty much saying the same thing again. But we're gonna make them, we're gonna commercially have them available, and actually my patent actually covers another aspect too, the reservoir, and that's gonna be, actually move along, be able to reinvest in the company and have that on there too. And that's our business model where we will have high quality filters that easily remove and replace. And our target market right now are the ones in Mississippi. We want to grow out, start in Mississippi, and then we're going to go, we want to plan on all the southeastern states, the Arkansas, the Mississippis, the Alabamas, and at the far end, pretty much the global market too. And like I said, we're going to initially focus on Mississippi-based fleets, as far as like the school buses, waste management, all the fleets in Mississippi. And that's an indication of a filter that we already that are out there. As you can see, that's an international truck with an international engine on it. So when I say we're selling filters, it's not like we have one truck. There's only one filter or one fluid or one oil. Like this truck here has 2 oil filters and 2 fuel filters on it, and actually it has that coolant filter on there too. So on that one unit, that we can make 5 sales just on that one engine alone. And like I say, that's time cut down a lot, because the guys come out with that scrap wrench, and I'm an ASC certified mechanic. I know some of those filters are going to be pretty difficult to remove. And if I had a filter like this right here with the end, I'd be much more happy to see that type of filter right there. And just in Mississippi alone, we have 153 school bus districts and over 17,000 buses, with multiple filters on each one. So that's a good sales model that we're going by. And over 25,000 buses, heavy haul trucks in Mississippi alone. And that's our marketing plan. We're selling so far by direct distribution, whereas we go out and visit the shops ourselves pretty much. And we already have our internal sales representative, which is Kenny Weeks and Michael Harris. So we're just pretty much doing it ourselves right now. And that's how we were able to penetrate the market. And these are the people we have visited already. Matter of fact, Jackson Public School Bus System, they currently use our filters. The Jackson Ayers International Airport and South Dakota School Bus System, which we're going to parlay that into pretty much all the school buses in the state, because they gave us a letter, a recommendation saying how much they like and everything. And these are pretty much the other companies in Mississippi who we have associations with right now. And matter of fact, we got a rep right here, Mr. Owen Rover, who, matter of fact, he works for Coos System to get us in that market now as I speak. So we shouldn't have that much difficulty getting sales with those guys. And that's a testimony of the Jackson Public School Bus System right there. We started doing business with those guys last year. And that was our team on Lazarus Harris, and those are the guys I work with again, Michael Harris and Kenny Weeks. And so far we have our consultant with the MSU Cabs Center, which was the Stephen Period, Mr. Glenn Dennis, and Dr. Clay Walton. And that's our manufacturing partner right there with a company called Green Mold and Dye. They do all our molding and everything for us, and help us assemble too. If we have a large enough order, we can't do it, or we can't complete the order, he takes up and does the work for us too. And those are milestones that we've completed so far. We already have a patent on it. And we have the engineers from Delcom, which is an adhesive company, who sends reps down to design adhesive for us. And like I said, we already have a relationship with Green Manufacturing in Florida, Mississippi. And I'm already certified with the company too, so that gives me a lot of business too. So that's pretty much saying what we do with the Cabs East Center. So, are there any questions?
Lazarus, how many units have you sold at this point?
I've probably sold about 1,500 units, but I wanted to just kind of reorganize my company and everything. So that's why I really realized I needed other people beside me, and I've done that on my own. know, I was the sales guy, the put together guy, and made the mold and everything. And so now that I got other people on my team, it makes my work a lot easier. I'll be required to grab for sales.
Excellent. Thank you. Boy, that's neat, Lazarus. You have come so far.
Thank you.
That's very encouraging. And these CABZ guys right there, y'all are awesome. Those milestones are great. We're making a lot of progress. I think that's going to be a successful company. Now, I want to tell you a quick story. I know it's 5 o'clock, but my father-in-law, my late wife's father, he had an antique shop. He had a sign on the window that said, "This ain't no museum. These antiques are for sale." But guess what? This ain't no museum. These companies need money. So if you have a connection, a networking person that you'd like to introduce them to, because they need equity partners, they need smart money, these companies are all going to do really well over the next short term and long term. So I'd like to invite you to be a part of our Angel Network. That's what we're doing here in this session. Engage with these companies. All we're giving you in this session is a quick overview. We don't expect that to be the end. We'd like to hold a meeting with you, discussing in more detail at any of your conveniences. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us here, and move please right back over to the other side, I guess. Is that right, Lisa?
Yes.
So again, we got a handout gift to each one of our presenters today. So these kids will take care of that. And then we're going to reassemble right away to announce the winners of all the competitions and whatnot. So join us on the other side.